Hi, I'm Andrew, and in this week's video, we're reviewing yet another curveball from G&G Armament in the form of the eagerly awaited G&G LevAR gas-powered lever action rifle. But let's just answer the big questions. What on earth is the LevAR, or LevAR if you're pedantic, and why does it exist? Well, to answer the first one, the LevAR is a gas-powered lever action magazine-fed AR pattern modular airsoft gun. Try saying that quickly 3 times. It comes in 2 versions, one with a 7-inch barrel and this one in 15 inches. It's powered by green gas inserted at the grip, but it uses standard AR pattern AEG magazines. As to why G&G made this gun? Because they can, and good on them for it. Granted, they were likely influenced by the resurgence of modernized lever action guns in the early 2023, but it's great to see an airsoft company taking risks and going for some innovation in this day and age. But back to the rifle itself. On first impressions, the first thing you notice when picking up the LevAR is its solid weight and solid construction. With a full metal receiver including a CNC aluminium handguard, the LevAR looks and feels like it can take a beating. Even its polymer grip and stock is made of an extremely high-strength polymer commonly seen on higher-end G&G guns and simply won't break. Over to the front, and we have a 15-inch free-floating barrel, which does help with accuracy. The birdcage flash hider over here is removable once you undo the bottom grub screw, giving the outer barrel a 14mm CCW thread to attach accessories. As mentioned previously, the skeletonized handguard has a very nice CNC aluminium construction with M-lock slots on the 3, 6, and 9 o'clock positions. Furthermore, there are also 4 QD sling mounts, 2 in the front and 2 in the back over here, for slings if you wish. In terms of rails though, in addition to this gigantic monolithic top rail, the handguard also has smaller rails over here for the employment of bipods and flashlights. Over to the top, and the LevAR has a pair of flip-up front and rear sights where you can choose between the flipped down but fiber optic equipped open sights or the flipped up aperture sights with the ability to adjust for both windage and elevation. Though I do wish the rear sights had a smaller aperture for better precision, but then again, you're most likely going to be using an optic with this, so it doesn't really matter. Over to the rear, and we have a solid skeletonized polymer stock. It has a really comfortable rubberized butt pad and also comes with an optional adjustable cheek rest. What's more is it also comes with these cool optional rifle stock shell holders with dummy 5.56 rounds. Now, granted this rifle is magazine fed, which calls into question the utility of a shell holder, but it just looks really cool regardless. But let's get to the receiver. The upper receiver is actually just a typical AR style AEG upper. It has a forward assist that serves absolutely no purpose and a dust cover to conceal the bolt. Now, pull back the bolt, and in addition to this gorgeous dummy round in the chamber, you also have the rifle's rotary tactile adjustable hop up. Rotate up for more hop and down for less. What's more is as the upper is just a normal G&G AEG AR, the LevAR should be compatible with most G&G AR AEG uppers that use a version 2 gearbox. In fact, a player has already mated a G&G FAR upper with a LevAR lower to create a folding franking gun, so we can't wait to see what kind of crazy combos you guys can come up with. As for compatibility with other brands, we're not entirely sure, as there will likely be fitment issues that will require modification. And now for the lower, where the real action is. As it should be painfully obvious, the most defining feature is the LevAR, which is made in the style of the Winchester repeating rifles from the 1860 onwards, and must be racked each time before firing a shot to chamber the next round. Now do know, however, that it is possible to double and triple feed the gun, as racking the LevAR multiple times simply chambers more BBs into the barrel to be fired out, allowing you to turn this into a makeshift but strangely accurate shotgun. Next is the external hammer, which the LevAR cocks each time when pulled and releases when the trigger is pulled. The hammer, however, can be decocked if you don't want to fire it by holding the hammer back with your thumb, pulling the trigger and slowly lowering the hammer back into place to make it safe. Speaking of safe, the LevAR also has a manual safety lever, down for safe and up for fire. But it kind of works differently from other safeties, as instead of obstructing the function of the trigger or the hammer, this safety instead obstructs the passage of gas. So don't be alarmed when the gun cocks and the hammer drops when the trigger is pulled on safe, as the gun still won't actually fire the BB. Now the trigger itself is actually extremely light and requires merely the slightest pull to release. Just exercise a bit more caution with this one compared to others. One more interesting thing is that LevAR has not one but 3 magazine releases, one on the left and then 2 on the right. The rear one over here is accessible with your trigger finger for easy activation, which is pretty awesome from an ergonomic standpoint. To the rear of the receiver is the LevAR's rifle grip. It has a nice polymer texture and is extremely comfortable to hold. The grip is also the location of the LevAR's gas reservoir, with the fill valve being at the bottom over here. As LevAR is a non-blowback gas gun, you can expect excellent gas efficiency and consistency at least after the first shot. What's more is that this can be HPA tapped, giving the LevAR a serious amount of performance potential if you have an HPA system to use it with. The LevAR itself comes with a 32-round low-profile, low-cap M4 style AEG magazine. In theory, it should be compatible with any other M4 AEG mag, but in practice we have noticed several fitment issues with mags from other brands that might require a bit of filing for them to fit and lock perfectly. And now for price. At $339 US for the 7-inch and $349 US for the 15-inch, the G&G LevAR sits at around the mid-price range for a gas rifle, which is pretty insane value considering how utterly unique of a system it actually is. So I'm pretty impressed with that. So the G&G LevAR 15 looks to be a brand new sensation hitting your local field soon. But how does it shoot? Let's head to the range and find out.
And now for the Chrono. As usual, we'll be firing 0.2 gram BBs using green gas. And now for the accuracy test. Here we are at landing zone as usual, at their 30-meter range. Go and see how well this does. It's going to be quite interesting to see how the lever works, because lever actions are not very common around here, and I'm not particularly used to it, but it'll be good to see how the ergonomics work out. So, without further ado, let's get to it. Well, all right, we're cocked and ready. Let's see. Wow. Well, that's a very, very unique feeling gun. Yeah, it is. Once you sort of get used to it, it is quite intuitive to get in touch with it. I gotta say though that using a lever action is quite different than, say, a bolt action, because you're fundamentally using a larger motion with your hand that's facing directly down. With a bolt action, the overall movement of your arm is very slight. You lift the bolt, you pull it back towards your face, and then you push it back. So you can generally keep on target the entire time. With lever action, it does induce a lot more sort of sway while you're racking in another round. So that was very interesting. Overall though, accuracy seems pretty impressive. We did adjust the hop up beforehand, and it was, it took a bit getting it sort of like zeroed in and all that. But overall, I think it's done quite well. And it should. It's a non-blowback. There's not, aside from the actual cocking of the gun, there's no moving parts when it comes into it. That being said, if you're going to use this in anywhere other than mid to long range, you better get really good at bringing up those follow-up shots, because you are at a fundamental disadvantage to people with semi-automatic or full automatic guns. So shot placement needs to count in game. But overall, it is really fun, it is, you do feel sort of, it's not, this isn't a cowboy gun, but it does feel like one, you really have that You really have to get good with drills and make that muscle memory go as far as possible. So I really do like it. In other words, let's go and see how well I did there. All right, let's see this. Oh, hey, there we go. All right, we'll count this as a flyer, and I'll actually explain why. But the rest, I think they're pretty much in. Even though these two, I sort of flubbed on, but I'll count it anyway for the sake of, fairness. So overall, pretty impressive actually. And a lot of the results is also down to my unfamiliarity with the system. One important thing to note is this particular flyer over here. We've discovered that if you gas it up too much, the first shot is going to be far more powerful than the other ones. And what this results in is that it causes it to hop up significantly more. Hence why this one shot up into the blinking stratosphere for some reason, before the other ones sort of lowered down to a more decent grouping. I would also say that these two, I probably flubbed on that, because when you're jacking the lever, basically, it does cause your aim to shift. And when you're using aperture sights, if you shift the aim and your cheek rests on it, it might throw off your sights a bit off, because this particular aperture sight is quite big compared to ones like, say, on the M16, which are zeroed out to like 200 to 300 meters. So that's one thing to look out for. But that's semantics, because chances are you're probably going to be using a scope on this, as I do recommend. Overall though, consistency though, aside from that first shot, is excellent. Which is no surprise, it's a non-blowback. That same amount of gas is going in every single time. So overall, I really like it. It's fun to use, man. Look, that feels great. You can't get old from that. And it's going to probably be quite a good gun to use as a marksman rifle for many players. Even better is that the type of connection here means that you can basically attach an HPA line. So gas might not even be an issue for many of you if you stick an HPA tank to it and go on for basically the entire day. So yeah, overall, rather impressed. It's a very, very unusual gun, but it works. And I think that's the most important thing about it. So yeah, I like it. Anyway, let's finish off back to the studio.
And we're back. So it comes as no surprise at this point that the G&G LevAR 15 is a fantastic and extremely unique addition to the airsoft industry. Externally, this rifle is solid, ergonomic, and feels great to use. Its lever action really provides a unique experience and is highly modular, allowing you to customize it to your every need. Performance-wise, it is accurate and can easily serve as an effective DMR in outdoor games. Now, indoor though, you might be at a disadvantage. Overall, we give the G&G LevAR an excellent 4.5 stars out of 5. G&G yet again proves they can turn a crazy idea into an airsoft reality. So let's hand it over to you guys. What are your thoughts on the G&G LevAR 15? Let us know in the comment section below. And for these cool products and many more, visit us at www.redwolfairsoft.com. This is Andrew, out.